pours your blur. It pours your blurs. It blurs your pores.
But what I can tell you is that I can see the glow from here. How does it wear underneath makeup? Everybody stay freaking calm, because Standard Beauty didn't give us one, but two SPFs after years of working on it. Standard has been my go-to for all things skincare over the last 4 years, and the only thing that was missing in my routine was SPF. So not only did they give us one, not two, but 3 SPFs are joining the Standard Beauty family. I have 2 of them here and we are going to be testing them today. Before I start testing these and talk about all things sun protection, we absolutely have to discuss the Padel Party to celebrate the launch of this SPF. It was such a fun event. Whenever there is a Standard Beauty event, you just have to know that it's just going to be such a good time. So let me show you some snippets of the event. And seriously, there was no better way to celebrate the launch of these 2 products by frolicking in the sun. During the event, I also got the opportunity to have like a short conversation about the products with the CEO of this company. Now, I first met her 4 years ago on a photo shoot for Standard Beauty, back when they only had about like 5 or 6 products in their entire range. And at this point, it has to be more than 60 products, right? I'm not even sure. But the growth that I have seen, not only in Standard Beauty, but in her as a CEO over the last few years, has just been absolutely incredible. Every time that I think that I have gotten to know the way that her mind works, her vision just like surprises me and just like absolutely leaves me in awe whenever she talks about the next product line that she wants to bring in and the next thing that she wants to focus on, and just like the passion that she has for giving South Africans affordable skincare that actually works. And it really has been such a pleasure seeing her work and build this company in the last few years. She has moved offices over offices because she rapidly outgrows the space. She has an all-female led team. She has so many success stories of people that started in her company as cleaners that are now within the production line of Standard Beauty. So she creates opportunities for people within the company itself. She has launched product of the product that gets glamour awards and gets noticed globally and sells out and becomes viral products. And her vision, her love for this company and for South Africans is honestly something that I'm just constantly in awe of. She is 100% the hardest working person in the room at all times, and this is the interview that I had with Ann-Kathrin regarding the newly released SPFs. What was important for you to create in an SPF, in the product itself?
In the product itself, I wanted to come out with an SPF that just goes on like a moisturizer, because a lot of the SPFs you actually don't end up using them because it has the white cast, it takes them a long time to rub in. So I wanted to come something up that's almost just feels like a moisturizer, has ingredients in it like a moisturizer. So there's niacinamide in there, hyaluronic acid. We also have vitamin D in there, which is our hero ingredient, because if you use a lot of SPF, it blocks the vitamin D, obviously, which is coming from the sun, and that is important for our overall health, our overall bone health. And now we put it back into the SPF so that you can actually get the full vitamin D boost.
Today we have 2 SPFs with us. We have the standard SPF and the mattifying.
Correct.
SPF. In each of them, what is the ingredient that you love most, that was like really important for you to add, that's like it has to be in
It has to be in it. So they all have the base, the base ingredients are all the same. So all the SPFs have the vitamin D booster, which was my number one non-negotiable. So that even with the SPF protection, you still get the vitamin D, niacinamide and hyaluronic. Then on the mattifying one, we've added a pore blur ingredient. So that is really cool because it pours your blurs. It blurs your pores, and it basically acts like a primer underneath your makeup if you wish to wear makeup on top.
Ooh,
that's cool. And then the standard one is just a standard SPF, and then we've got a third one launching in a couple of weeks, which is a dewy one.
Which SPF of the three is your go-to?
It depends what kind of finish I'm going for. I really love the dewy because especially now you just always want to look dewy. And then my second favorite is the mattifying one because I have oily skin, especially after a long day. I've got some pores, so that is really nice to have the pore blur effect and the mattifying effect.
Okay, and now that we know the backstory, now that we know the vision, now that we know what was important for her to create, let's try out some sunscreens. We have two with us here today. It is the standard one and the mattifying one. So the standard sunscreen, both of which are both a mineral and chemical formula. It has ingredients like niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, and the vitamin D booster that you just talked about. Vitamin D, ever since I had this conversation with her, I was really just like thinking about it, and I think that vitamin D plays such a pivotal role in our hormones, in our happiness levels, in our overall mental health, especially. And vitamin D is something that we get directly from the sun, and I think that most sunscreens on the market actually blocks out vitamin D. So every day that we wear our sunscreen, we are actually limiting our exposure of vitamin D, and it can actually have an impact on our mental health. And this is something that I only started thinking about once I had this interview with her, and again, just the way that her mind works. Like, this was something so important for her to create, that is not only a product that's going to protect us for the sun, but also it gives us the best mental health possible while doing so. Let's try them. I'm going to start with the standard SPF, see how it applies, and then we can do the mattifying one and see if it has any impact on my pores. Before I go through everything that it claims, I want to tell you what's really important for me in an SPF and something that's actually going to get me to use the product, and that is that it has to replace my day cream. I do not have a day cream in my routine right now, and my sunscreen has to be super moisturizing and ultra hydrating to replace a day cream. If I have to apply a day cream underneath the sunscreen, I simply do not like the way that how heavy my skin feels if I have to do that, or the way it just makes my skin feel kind of clogged. Also, I've experienced that once I apply a day cream underneath sunscreen, it may cause my sunscreen to pull a little, which also is not the vibe. It also has to lay really great under makeup, also no pilling with makeup. I don't like a white cast, and I normally like a glowier finish with sunscreen. And I only got my husband to start wearing sunscreen about 2 years ago because we found one that doesn't sting his eyes. That's not something that's like a super common occurrence for me, but for him that happens all the time. So obviously no eye stinging would also be a great bonus. First of all, what I really love about it is the packaging. I think that it is super cute for a sunscreen to look like this. It almost feels like as though it is romanticizing SPF and romanticizing keeping your skin protected, and I love that. Let me bring it closer so we can inspect the skin. Okay, it's already open, so there's no like stopper thingy there, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to do like one fingerful. Okay, first impressions is that it's a very runny formula. Do you see how it runs? Okay, see how close I get to my eyes? That's mainly because I want to kind of test the eye stinging without getting like into my eyes. but what I can tell you is that I can see the glow from here. First impressions, do we see the glow? That's really nice. It honestly does not have a white cast in the slightest. Stunning. It is feeling like a little bit tacky. Do you see that? Which might make it like a good primer for makeup. Is it hydrating enough though? I just want to feel if my face pulls anything. I believe it could be, yes. I didn't cut my application of it at all, so I feel as though it really like applied super quickly. I like the finish of this one. Does feel hydrating, no white cast. So far, we are doing good. And now I'm thinking we do some makeup and see what it looks like underneath. Okay, I have you super close again because this is what it looks like underneath makeup. And I'm happy to report that there was absolutely no pilling. I do really like it. I think that it is moisturizing enough. There was no white cast. It doesn't pull under makeup, no eye stinging. So far I think it's really a fantastic product, and I really like the finish that I still have with my makeup on top. It's a different day and there's a different SPF to try. The girl of the hour is going to be the mattifying SPF. Now apparently this one has ingredients in it, same base as the standard SPF, but it has some things to actually blur your pores. So it's actually perfect for either oily skin girlies that don't like the dewy or glowy finish, or also just to use it as a primer underneath makeup. So same rules apply, has to be hydrating, no white cast, no eye stinging, and doesn't pull under makeup. So let's try her. I'm going to do like a generous application of it. It's also quite like a runny formula, but not as much as the standard one. It's actually like a lot more solid. It feels a lot more matte than the standard one. It doesn't feel as dewy on the skin as the standard one did. So it truly does feel kind of mattifying. It also didn't do any white cast, which is fabulous. My eyes isn't stinging. So now the test is, how does it wear underneath makeup? Once again, I'm happy to announce that there was absolutely no pilling under the makeup, but let me bring you closer and let's examine the pores. So this was the standard SPF, and apparently the mattifying SPF also kind of blurs your pores. So I want to do like super close up with the makeup, and then I'm going to do the same for mattifying once I try it. And maybe there's like a difference in my pores. Once again, I use it as a moisturizer today, and I didn't have any other moisturizer with it, and I feel as though it does a really good job at hydrating the skin and works well under makeup. I'm gonna come back with like my final thoughts on both of them. My final thoughts on the SPF from Standard Beauty. Over the past few years, I've participated in a few user trials for their SPF, and we have tried sunscreen after sunscreen, giving notes after notes, and I think those user trials hated to see me coming because I am particularly picky when it comes to my SPF, and both of these are truly exquisite products. They have no white cast, they are super hydrating and moisturizing, they lay exquisitely under makeup, they have absolutely no eye stinging, and they have all the benefits that vitamin D also gives us. So this is for sure going into my skincare routine. But I think when it comes down to which product you should pick, I honestly think that it comes down to preference. If you are an oily skin girly and you know that your skin just gets oily throughout the day and you don't love that dewy glowy look from a sunscreen, then I definitely think that the mattifying sunscreen will give you a flawless, incredible finish. And if you do like the glowiness, which is what I mostly like, I think I will be reaching for the Standard SPF more so. And then probably when they come out with the dewy one, I'll probably be reaching for that one as often as possible. I also tried the sunscreen during the Padel event, and I only applied it on one part of my body. And by the end of the night, you could clearly see where I have applied the sunscreen and where not. So I know that it works. But truly well done to Standard. I know that this has been years in the making, and what they have come up with is actually has been worth the wait. And once again, Standard Beauty just comes through for us with affordable skincare that works. I think that the price point on their SPF 50 is truly remarkable. And if you ever want to buy these products or any other Standard Beauty product for 15% discount, you are so welcome to use this code at checkout to save some money. If there's any other products from Standard Beauty that you would like me to try out, or if you have any other questions regarding the SPF, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm very thrilled to have 2 new products to join the Standard Beauty long list of products in my household. I will see you on my next video. Bye!